Hey everyone, I wanted to sit down for a minute and talk about ascendancies in the lead up to 3.28, and I'm hoping that maybe this video will get some discussion started, and maybe that GGG will see this video by some chance eventually and be able to act based upon the feedback that we give. And the bottom line of what I'm looking to talk about here is whether or not the alternate ascendancies, the Phrygia ascendancies, are just objectively or simply better than the regular ascendancies and should go into the core game to replace the current ascendancies. I think some of us may have wondered when they came up with these alternate ascendancies whether the intent was for them to be the new ascendancies in the game at some point. And maybe there was, my theory here is that maybe there was not a strong enough positive reaction to the alternate ascendancies for GGG to fully commit to doing so without risking losing players over that change. But I guess for me personally, I love the alternate ascendancies, and when I was thinking about what do I want to play for 3.28 with the core old ascendancies, and honestly nothing seemed that exciting for me right now, but I did have some builds that I still haven't explored on the alternate ascendancies that I would really be excited to explore. So I'm wondering how many people are out there who are kind of feeling the same thing, where the old ascendancies are just not that exciting and the alternate ascendancies are, and how do we get that message to GGG that, you know, the community is kind of okay with switching to the alternate ascendancies if that's kind of what they think they wanted to do in the first place. Um, yeah. Now, I don't play too many caster builds or some minion builds or anything, but I know just looking at the Phrygia 2.0 event league, lots of people were playing like the Herald, I think, which seemed to be, you know, a good amount of fun for people. Lots of people were playing the Surfcaster, which I still personally want to play with, but I've not had the chance to with the fishing rod. And, you know, this one that got nerfed, obviously down to 9%. Maybe that took some of the fun out of it, but this one, I think this one's still pretty fun to play with. I definitely want to continue playing around with the Ranger builds, around evasion, stacking. The shrine stuff can be fun, I think, and I don't really mess with spell slinger stuff, but that's what I would use this one for. And then I still have on my list to, you know, try to play with this node with minion damage one day and get the maybe tailwind in there. A lot of people are using it for, obviously, the frenzy charge generation for flicker strike, but I think there's more builds to come from this ascendancy as well. And then I think we saw some pretty, I think Paladin was a solid pick for a league starter and just, you know, a very reliable ascendancy to pick. As for these ones, I think these have some massive potential that I've not unlocked personally, but I think other people were doing things with this. And then also this one here, or was it this one or was it this one? I think this is the aristocrat, I guess, right? And then this is the gambler. I'm not sure who was actually playing around with the gambler a whole lot, but you know, we got the teaser about the ascendancies, and I'm curious if maybe that had to, I should say, about the scion, or the, what is it called, the scavenger. My thought about that when they faded out the passive nodes, the ascendancy passives, I'm thinking, does that mean that maybe they're going to remove just these right here, or maybe all of these for the scavenger, and replace them with something that's better? Maybe was scavenger the broken ascendancy that prevented them from implementing all of the alternate ascendancies into the core game? And if that's the case, if maybe that's, I don't know if POE Ninja would support this or not, if this was one of the underplay, I didn't check yet, but maybe this is the one that they were just unhappy with the way that it is, and maybe they're going to upgrade it and then all of a sudden all the alternate ascendancies are ready to dump into the game. To me, once again, that's a win. I would love to see that happen. Keep the old ascendancies maybe for flesh and flame, different variety, combinations of builds with those. But I think it's honestly a great thing to have like a refresh and to put into the core game these alternate ascendancies. It just creates like entirely new challenges that I think are fun. Like, I still think that I like the spell skills are disabled and to have the war cries on the behemoth, but I'll live with what they've done with it. But that's really it that I had to say about it, and we'll see what other people have to say. But if we can get enough people to, I think, speak up about this, maybe build some discussion about it. For those of us who want to see the alternate ascendancies go into the core game, maybe it could happen someday. So that's all for now, and I'll post some more videos in the coming days and weeks up to 3.28.